Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all well. So we've just finished snippet 85. So this was our previous snippet, snippet 85. And just so you can see 84 and 83. I love the mix of elements you can just use in your snippets. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to do snippet 86. I've got that right, yes, 86. So I'm going to, as always, start with a piece of Pink Frog Super Smooth Card 300 GSM. And I'm using my circular template. You can use any circles that you want. This is about 2 1/4, but it doesn't really matter because I'm sort of going off the edge anyway. And it's up to you which circles you use. So I'm just going to draw around the circle. So there's one. I'm then going to add another circle. Shall we make that one stick in a little bit? So I'm going to add another part of a circle. So we've got another part of a circle, and then I'll sort of use a circle again and join these up. And I'll show you the sort of pattern we're getting. So we've just got those 3 circles. Let me just place that back just so that we don't lose that. And we want it to coordinate with the opposite page. So this time I'm only going to do one of the circles because I've prepared one already. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the abutilon stamp TE7, and I'm going to use the little abutilon here. I love this little stamp. And I'm going to use my grey ink again. So let's take the grey ink. And I'm going to add the abutilon just to the circles, like so. And then I'm going to add another and join so that they're joined in some shape or form. So, like so. So I'm using Morning Mist VersaFine Clair. My card, as always, is 4 inches by 6 inches. I always use the same size card. It's up to you what size your snippets are. I tend to like the size 4 by 6, and it fits in my Diane Reevely journal quite nicely. So where shall I add these? Every time you stamp it, obviously it looks a little bit different. And I have got one that I've prepared, and then I'm going to add one just down the bottom here. So let's have that there. Okay, so we've got all our abutilons in here. And what I'm going to do, I have done one already so that you're not waiting. I'm going to take my hickory smoke, some water, and I'm just going to pick the hickory smoke up, and I'm just going to colour the circle. I'm just going to go around and add the hickory smoke. I'm not going to go over the actual floral area. It's okay if I go over the branch area. That's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to add the grey just to the circle, like so. And just blend that out. Okay. So let's just move this, because if I bring in the one I've done before, you can see that I've added the grey. The light's not very good, is it? Hang on. There we go. You can see I've added the grey, but what I've done is that's 1 layer of the Distress Oxide hickory smoke. That's 3 layers. So you can see the difference. So I let it dry a little bit and then added another layer of the grey. Okay, and then we'll just go on to the colouring. So what I'm going to be using this time is I'm going to be using my Prismacolor pencils. And first of all, I'm going to be using Cool Grey PC1067 and Warm Grey PC1051. And I'm just going to do the top of the abutilon with a touch of the dark grey, like so. And just here as well. And these have all been coloured in the same way. And then I'm going to take the lighter grey just to blend the two colours together. Let's do the same on this one as well, the little bud. And I do like to work with a sharp pencil where I can. It just makes it much easier. Let's just use the lighter colour just to blend. You don't need much colour on those. I'm then going to use, let's grab these. For my darkest colour, I am using dark purple PC931, and then I'm using mulberry 995 for my Prismacolors. So I'm going to add the darker colour just around the top, and then the bottom edge, just to give the colour at the bottom edge. So just to add that darker area. And then I'm going to use the lighter colour just to blend the colour. And obviously we need more than one layer of that colour. So I'm going to do the dark again, just on the bud, and then the lighter colour. You may go light to dark. I've just done dark to light, that's absolutely fine. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit more depth, a little bit more darkness to that dark colour. Let's add a little bit of the dark colour just at the base. And it really doesn't need much colouring at all. But I'm just sort of going to leave a touch of the white just so it pops a little bit. And normally I would recommend that you let that rest a bit and then just come along and just add a few little squiggly lines just to the abutilon, because it's got some detailed line work on the abutilon. And if you see an abutilon, let's add a little bit of white there, in real life, you will see they've got quite a few sort of darker grainy lines, and I'm just adding that with some lighter touches. Let's add a few dots to these, like so. And it's up to you if you want to add. If you look at mine, I've added a little bit of darker shading around the florals, but as we always do, if we want to add a little bit more darkness, we can go in with our Inktense pencil, a little bit of water, and we can just darken that a little bit, just so that it's a little bit darker, just on the edge. Just a little bit of darkness just on there, and a little touch of water. It's not exactly a little touch of water, but there you go. Let's add a little bit more Inktense. So it's up to you if you want to add a little bit more shading just under the floral, you can do that just so that it has a little bit more definition. Just to bring that out a bit. We will add a little bit of background stamping as well. There we go. Just to add a little bit of shading. I'm then going to add a touch of background stamping like we did in our previous snippet, and I'm going to use my Morning Mist. In the previous one we used the second generation stamping. I'm going to use a bit of first generation stamping on this one, and I'm just going to curl the stamp a little bit just so that I get little bits of that stamping, not too much. And if I curl the stamp, it just helps it to be a little bit more random, and you just get little touches of that text. If you want to add more of that text, obviously you can add a little bit more. So I'm using the VersaFine Clair Morning Mist, and it's entirely up to you how much of that text that you want to add to your background. It's entirely up to you. Just lovely, just little touches. So then I'm just going to, like I did in the other one, I'm just going to extend the text a little bit, just on the outside, just a little touch, just so it's not too overpowering. And let's have a little bit just up here. There we go. So it's just that touch of text from TE11, just so that you can see that. Works really nicely. Let's just, and then in my previous snippet we did add the little wren from TE30 Garden Elements. So I'm going to add the little bird from that. Let's just take, now I want my black ink pad, which will be somewhere I'm not expecting, like usual. So I'm going to take my Nocturne ink for my bird and have that in the black. I'm just going to add my little bird here, like so. You've got that oxide ink on there, so just give that a little bit of time, and it's like it's admiring the florals. Let's just make sure that we've got these white areas sort of highlighted. A few little touches of white. It doesn't have to be overpowering, the white doesn't at all. So then I'm just going to make it a little bit darker where our little bird is, so we've got a little bit more shading. So let's just make sure it's a little bit darker where that is. There we go. Actually, we'll leave that water because I'm going to add a little bit of shading just to the bottom of the circles, just a little bit. Just drag that out. And we can just add a little bit here and go round to here, just to make that a little bit darker on the edges. A little bit more moisture. There we go. And then we can just add some of our splatters to our project. And if you aim your splatters sort of where that lovely darkness of grey is, that just accentuates that a little more. And then I can go back to the abutilon stamp, and it's got nodding flowers, so we can use that in our project. Which way? That's it. So we can use our scrap of card, and again we'll use the black ink, just because then that moves up to the foreground. There we go. Let's get into the habit of placing that back, because I know what I'll do. I'll lose it. So we'll then just add our little bit of text. Let's just cut it too big for the moment because I'm faffing with a bit of card there. Lovely. And I just want that card a little bit thinner. That's it. I just don't want it, as I always say, too overpowering. We'll just add this, and this is all one layer. It's got no dimensional pieces apart from the word nodding flowers. There we go. Let's just dab off that extra little bit of adhesive. Just add the nodding flowers there, like so. And as you know, I always say, just let that dry a little bit, just so that that doesn't move. Let's just use our brush. Don't think there's much moisture on there. And just blend this out. There we go. And if we bring our little book in, just so that you can see them together, there is your Snippet 86, and it coordinates beautifully with the opposite one. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing your interpretation. Love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.